The United Nations, Geneva. Father Michael Christopher Deeb at a side event with Paulo Pinheiro and Archbishop Mirkis of Kirkuk, Iraq. It is part of Father Mike's assignment as permanent delegate of the Dominicans for Justice and Peace to the UN.
By our being in the UN, we wanting to continue to challenge the ways in which people are thinking about things which are often in a very narrow concept of their own national interests, their own local interests, their own tribal interests, etc. And to be wanting to broaden all of that, to see that the whole human race, every person in the world and every part of creation, in fact, is created by God and therefore has fundamental human dignity, rights to be preserved and to be nourished.
Father Mike Deeb was born in South Africa. He made his first profession in the Dominican Order in 1987 and was ordained to the priesthood in 1991. Since 2014, Father Mike is the Order's delegate to the UN. He tells us about his experience of how the United Nations perceive religious organizations.
Generally, there's quite a big openness towards who we are and what we are. And even, I think there's a recognition that, as church, we've played a significant role in the development even of the UN. Often our presence people are looking for, because they know that we're not trying to defend our religion or our particular national or local interests at all, and therefore we would have more credibility, in fact. We have certainly contributed to many discussions that have eventually borne fruit, and we could point to things like the death penalty, issues, for example, of indigenous people who have been marginalized and who have not been responded to in South America. We've also been trying to engage with the issue, for example, of what's going on in Iraq.
This is a blight on the whole international community. Many people, including Pope Francis, have stressed the importance of
the Dominican Order has a long history of involvement in issues of social justice and human rights. In the 16th century, Dominican philosopher and theologian Fray Francisco de Vitoria developed a new approach about international law.
And we could even say one of the founders, therefore, of the UN concept. And he's recognized in New York, in the grounds of the UN in New York. There's a statue of him there, and in Geneva, one of the main halls of council chambers in the Geneva UN office is called the Francisco de Vitoria Hall.
Sent out to preach by Dominic, sent two by two to all the world, sent out to study the gospel of grace, to find new ways to preach.
It seems that both forums in which Father Mike engages have this in common. Their members are required to take actions in order to change the world.